All right. Hi,
All right.
everyone. We're back. You're outside. Looks nice.
Yep. With a new setting, my parents' house, enjoying
Awesome.
the sun.
All right. Well, welcome back. Gregory and Paul Show.
Paul, here.
We break down the latest in startups, AI, SaaS, whatever happens to be debatable on the internet this week. We aim for smart takes. I know we'll hit on a few scorchers, but we'll always have a lot of dumb ones. You know, we love memes way too much.
Way too much. Yeah, so we're streaming live on X and LinkedIn every Friday at noon. Then we post this in video format straight to YouTube. Someday we'll get on to the podcasting platforms as well. I think the plan is we'll do that after we get to the 5th episode. We're almost there. And then we'll launch on Apple, Spotify, and Google Podcast.
Well, this is number 5, right? That's what we committed to.
Yeah, that's right. We're right there.
Dude, where are you? It looks nice.
It's my parents' house
Okay.
in a little town called Dunnville in southern
Is that
Ontario.
in Ontario?
Yep. It's actually fairly close to the border, maybe about 45-minute drive to.
Isn't everything close to the border in Canada?
Oh, yeah, it's true. We all live within like 3 to 4 hours of the U.S. border.
Oh my God. All right. So what's the rundown for today? We've got Soham Parekh, and I think we'll talk about whether you see him as a pirate or pariah. We've got some Apple news to talk about. They've done some very weird coding language I know you've got a perspective on. We want to dive into AI search. A lot happening in the AI search space. There's a Reddit post we're going to look at that has some obvious or non-obvious advice for AI search, depending on how you think about it. We've got another Reddit post about launching 39 startups. Pretty incredible if that's what it takes to have one to hit. But we've got the numbers. And of course,
Crazy.
we'll do meme of the week.
Wild.
Oh my God. Did you do anything fun for 4th of July?
No. I mean, we're in Canada, so actually people did set off fireworks. So
Do they?
Yeah. So for July 1st, which is Canada Day, people set off fireworks. I was here at my parents' house. July 4th, we saw fireworks across the water. So they're right on the water on Lake Erie. And you can see a little bit over the lake.
July 1st. It's funny how like in Boxing Day, like Canada has all the same holidays. They just are like a couple of days.
A couple of days apart or named differently.
Yeah, they're all basically the same, right? It's really funny.
Yeah. Instead of like President's Day, we call it like Queen's Day.
Oh my God.
That's a real
While I was in Portland, it was beautiful. And dude, I am like way too old and boring to go to like fire. They were like the fireworks started like 10. I was like, 10? Are you kidding me? Like I'm in bed at like 9. I'm brushing my teeth at 7. Like I'm just like I was no way. I heard him like in bed, and I was like, whatever. Like I've seen fireworks. I know what they look like.
The cool stuff is drone shows now.
Oh, dude, they had that too. They were like, there's a drone show, and in Portland, they were like framing it as like eco-friendly fireworks or something. Which my friend was like, oh, they love it. Yeah, dog friendly, right?
Yeah.
Oh my
dogs
God.
don't go crazy. I mean, we're getting there. Canada, supposedly they did like a small scale one with like 100 drones or something in Toronto for Canada Day. I mean, some of the other drone shows in Asia, it's like 10,000 drones. That's crazy.
I've seen those like dragon. It's pretty cool. I like the idea that it's dog friendly. Our little doggy used to get really scared with the fireworks.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Should we kick this off? Oh, I know what we wanted to start with. I had another note on our docket here. We want to talk about, is this the peak of the AI boom? NVIDIA is now a $4 trillion company. You've got Mark Zuckerberg giving out NBA superstar sized pay packages to AI engineers. And the one anecdote I want to save or I want to share is that I remember the dot-com bubble, and I was on my first business trip ever to San Francisco. I was a kid. I can't remember, 19, 20. I got like an all expense paid trip to San Francisco. I thought I was like a rock star, and I had a hotel that they paid for. And I woke up that morning and I had a copy of USA Today put under my door. That's how old this is. And it said, Cisco, world's largest company. And I, like, you know, completely naive young kid, I looked at it and said, maybe that's the peak of these bubble things that they always are talking about. And I'll never, ever forget that because that was the peak of the dot-com bubble, 99, maybe it was even 2000. And then all kind of fell apart after that. And so whenever I hear something like NVIDIA, world's largest, like in the entire world, that's the most valuable company. I think back to my first all expense paid business trip.
That's wow. So your position here is you think the current form of AI, we've reached the top of the bubble because we're making these grand, crazy salaries, big news headline news about NVIDIA, $1 trillion market cap.
Yeah, 4 trillion, right?
Yeah, crazy.
4 trillion. I mean, dude, I ran out of fingers and toes. Like I cannot count 4 trillion, right? Like,
what does 4 trillion even mean?
It's crazy.
That's crazy. Like a country.
I mean, I don't know. I know you might feel differently, but I think this cycle, there's multiple cycles. Like I say, you remember like an AI boom a couple of years ago that maybe it was only in the Bay Area. There were a bunch of very interesting AI companies actually that no one talks about now. So we got this new boom, right? Yeah, and I think
so I kind of like, I have to like zoom out in the long term, right? You can compare it to, let's say, the other types of improvements in technology. Let's compare it to like electricity, for example, right?
Okay.
I think AI could be the new electricity in terms of just the utility, the many types of utilities. So locally, yes, we could be reaching the top. There could be a lot of consolidation, a lot of standardization. So, for example, in the early stages of when electricity became a thing, a household thing, and people are starting to adopt electricity over like burning oil lamps and then buying home appliances, there was a huge boom in terms of just the number of products that people can buy, and also like literally like the different types of plugs that integrates these products into your wall to consume electricity. Like at one point there was over 100 different types of plugs on the market. So basically what that means is like if you bought like a lamp and used it at your home, you couldn't use it anywhere else because you made your choice. So like right now I feel like AI is kind of like the same thing. If you're a company that's building on top of AI and then you integrate with, let's say, like ChatGPT, right? OpenAI. And suddenly you're building all of these wrappers, all of these products around this core technology, because it's not as standardized. Maybe you're not being able to move it down the road to, I don't know, Anthropic's model or some new model, right? Like some Chinese model, open source model. So like I think we probably could use some kind of consolidation, like a standardization. MCP is sort of kind of a direction towards that, where we're creating this protocol where regardless if you're building on top of OpenAI or Anthropics or even Gemini, you can just plug into some AI without worrying about how to interface with it. So in the long scheme of things, I think in the longer timeline, I think we are maybe 25% way through to the wide adoption.
All right. I get it. Here's why you're wrong. The definition of a bubble is not that it's valuable and useful and going to keep going. It's that it's massively overvalued. And so I would say, like, I agree with all that. Like AI is going to be around. It's probably one of the most revolutionary technologies that's come out since the internet. I agree with all of that. Like, and you had the crypto boom that didn't really do a whole lot for the world. You had
Yeah.
the metaverse, which like I don't think anybody wants anything to do with that, right? This is real. It's going to keep going, but in my opinion, a bubble is like the world's largest company is selling shovels. Like that's not going to last. And then I just don't see it being sustainable to be giving $200 million pay packages to AI engineers. Like if this is not the peak of the bubble, that would mean that next year we're giving out $300 million pay packages to engineers. And like, I don't think that will continue. I don't have $300 million to bet against that, but I feel pretty strongly that it will not be what's happening next year. So it's the peak.
That I somehow I agree with that. I can't argue with that. Just like imagining you getting paid $300 million as an AI researcher at one of these companies.
What? That's insane, right?
Yeah, like we're basically saying that these people are once a generation type of character, type of resource.
Yeah, I think the strategy there I actually think Mark Zuckerberg's an astute business person, and the strategy is to like take talent away off the market. I think that's what he's doing.
Right.
Like, how would you be incentivized to work really hard at Meta either? Like, sure, maybe you provide some feedback and like grab a cup of coffee, but like,
right,
it's poaching the top people away to hurt competitors is what I think he's doing there.
Sure, that makes sense. I mean, so he's invested into the parent company.
I don't know if it makes sense, but like they can afford it.
They can afford it, exactly. And I wonder, like, what these people are working on, right? Like, what is Meta AI? How does that manifest into the world? Like, he's investing to the parent company of Ray-Ban, so he's. I mean, you and I both wear eyeglasses, so I can totally predict in 5 years, Facebook comes out with a off-the-shelf AR, VR, AI-enabled pair of glasses.
Oh, for sure.
And people will wear it somehow.
For sure.
We don't know. So, like, there's Meta glasses, but if you talk about Meta glasses or even wear it out into the public, people are laughing at you as of right now. And the battery sucks. So,
right. Let's move on. We've debated this enough. Let's go to Soham. Do you want to share this article?
Okay. Yeah, let me pull it up and share it. I love this guy. So for anyone that hasn't heard of this guy, Soham, the story here is that Suhail on Twitter about a week ago, he called out this supposedly engineer in India who works at 3 to 4 startups at the same time, and supposedly he's been going around interviewing at YC companies, passing the interview and getting hired, and then either kind of doing the minimum or not showing up to work. And essentially he's saying he fired this guy after a couple weeks, realized that he is not showing up to work or he's just not producing, and he's been doing this for lots of time, for years. And a bunch of other founders piled on and says either they've interviewed them or they've hired this guy or literally hired this guy a week ago. He did really well during the interviews, and now this blew up and turned out he's been working at multiple dozens, maybe up to 30 companies. I just blows my mind. I think this guy is a freaking genius.
Dude, how did they not check up on any of his references? They didn't call any of the companies on his resume. Like, I don't understand like how he's able to do this to like 5, 10 companies at the same time. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
I think it's just startup culture, right? Like, you move fast, you hire fast, you pass the interview, and then you hire them. So like, So I've actually ran into this multiple.
You never followed up on like a single reference or like called somewhere where they worked before just to like check up or check someone in your network?
Apparently, none of these people did. I mean, what questions would you even you just kind of ask them for a
Did
reference?
he work there?
So apparently, he did work at a lot of the companies that he mentioned, right? And he also passed the interview. So he's a good engineer. Just that he's kind of dividing his attention between dozens of companies. I
I don't know what to make of it. I didn't understand like why this was considered
Yeah,
why all the founders were like upset and why this was like he's a pariah or whatever. Like like okay, so it didn't work out or for whatever
right.
reason. Like this happens with time employees, like they don't work out. Like it's not something
Yeah,
new. And like so I wonder if like was there something else happening? Like why did this have to get called out and like dragged through the Twitter
yeah,
sphere? Like when it's just like an employee who took on multiple jobs and wasn't able to fulfill his duties in those jobs, right? That's not cool. But like people get hired all the time, it doesn't work out. So I don't feel like it's a big deal from that perspective.
yeah,
Um, and like I guess like for me, like sense of personal responsibility, like you're the companies who hired this guy. Like you didn't call any of the
that's a hot
references and
take.
do anything to
Right.
like check up on any of this stuff. Like you have some responsibility. And I felt like they were positioning it as like, oh, poor us, like elite startup founders who've like raised money to go and chase their dreams have been hoodwinked by like an engineer in India who has multiple jobs. Like, I don't know, like just the narrative for me was like, it did seem like necessary to like for it to become so public and like that the people who like hired him, like, hey, maybe they have like a role and role to play.
Yeah, like call your references, right? Like add one more step into your interview process, and then you can catch these things. It's pretty funny.
Oh my
So
god.
like the only thing that I will say on this is there's an entire subreddit called Overemployed with almost 500,000 subscribers. That's literally on this topic. So like this is not a new thing. There's literally entire subreddits dedicated to like how to systematically get hired at multiple full-time jobs. And
No one was specific too about like what he did and not do, right? Was he like and that's where maybe that's where the story gets interesting is like, what was his plan? Like he's gonna take on 5 jobs and like not do the work? I didn't understand that one either.
so, from what I understood, he did do some of the work. Like, he was pretty
Okay.
good. Like, he was legitimately working multiple jobs, full-time jobs at the same time. So, I think
Right, like, what is the strategy here? It's like, if you got, like, 3 jobs, did them all, like, awesome for him, like, dude, like, crazy talented guy, like, wild, but, like, to get 10 of them or whatever and, like, not do the work, I'm not sure, like, what the plan was.
right.
Who was the original tweet from? Sahil? Was that it?
Yeah, so he'll
Yeah, he was the one there was a lot of tweets going around, and he kinda said the guy's a bit of a psychopath and or
sure.
a compulsive liar, and that seems to be, like I like that as an overarching answer to this whole kinda question, like, what was the guy's plan? Like, I think he didn't really have much of a plan, he just was kinda, like he found a hack, and he started to exploit it, and it kinda went awry.
Correct, correct. I still applaud him for trying, though. I tap out at, like, two dev contracts. Doing, like, 20 at the same time is just impossible, insane.
It was entertaining. I liked reading all of it, and Gary was all like, Gary Tan's all like, "This is what the value of the Y Combinator network provides," and stuff, which I thought was a bit of an overreach.
Yeah,
It's
he's all over the
funny. We
place.
exposed fraud.
Yeah, no way.
All right,
No way, Gary.
let's jump on to your
My
Mac
app.
one here.
Yes. Let me share this guy.
So I'll kick this one off a little bit, or I'll get started. I'll get it started. So
Yeah.
yeah, Apple released some. I love the way this headline is positioned. Weirdly interesting coding language model. And then it goes on to kind of compare it to Hugging Face.
Yeah.
And then it gets real nerdy about
Yeah.
all the different types of like code bases and models for LLMs versus auto regression versus diffusion models. So Take us through why I thought this one was so interesting.
Okay, so like first of all, anytime that like Apple is associated with some kind of model is interesting because they're so freaking quiet on everything AI front compared to Meta, Google, OpenAI, obviously, and Anthropics. So anytime like they quote unquote release a model, I'm always kind of watching and listening just to see, trying to predict where they're going with their AI strategy, right? I'm still questioning where they're going with their AI strategy. So the cool thing here is, so here's my opinion. They are uniquely positioned to implement a cool different version of AI, not in the cloud, which is something called local LLMs, right? I mean, Apple has billions of devices out there in the wild. They have headphones. They have now they have their VR headset. They are one of the only companies, maybe beside Google and Android, can reach billions of people with their own hardware. A local LLM basically means that they can deploy these things onto the device, completely detached from the cloud, completely be personalized and secure. And I actually do personally believe that should be a version of the future how people consume AI. I don't,
Yeah, I agree.
right? It's like everybody has a super
Yeah.
intelligence, personalized, secured to your device in your pocket versus like
I
paying
think
back to the server somewhere.
I was gonna say, I think there's a lot going on here. Like one thought when we talked about this earlier was
Yeah.
like, it seems very un-Steve Jobs. Like Steve would like leak something really cool and everybody would analyze it and it would make a big splash and we try to figure out what it meant. It's interesting. This one just got like, I don't know, like leaked on a like an engineering forum or
Yeah.
something. And you can't tell, like, is this connected to like a new innovation or not? Like, I really miss the Steve days where the interpretation would be very simple. It's like, oh my God, they're working on some cool local
Right.
model that's going to go on your phone and all this mention of like, oh, diffusion models, which are used for imaging.
Correct.
It's going to be some cool AI imaging app that like augments your photos and all
Yes.
that. But given the Apple of today, I'm just not confident that's what's going on here.
I'm not sure. I feel exactly the same, right? I am not sure if Apple has a AI strategy as well. So like just to kind of like briefly talk about what they're doing here is they have trained on top of a Chinese model called Qwen, which is a autoregressive model, and turned it into a diffusal model. First of all, I didn't even know that that's possible, which is really cool. And the significance here is all of the LLMs that we're using is essentially an autoregression model, right? Which is predicting one token after the other one. And the diffusion model is what a lot of image and video generators use. For example, stable diffusion. It's kind of like how our brain really think about the world instead of thinking about like things sequentially. We kind of imagine the world in a blurry picture and then you think a little bit more, it becomes clearer and clearer. So any kind of research that moves us towards more of a diffusional model is cool. So I'm glad that Apple's doing it, right? Like they're uniquely positioned to do this. And like you said, they have lots of image data, they have lots of video data. So it's like to them, it's beneficial for them to figure this out.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's my interpretation of what's going on here, right?
Yeah,
Is like, and you said too, right? Like figuring out how to have like a locally based model on your phone, which sounds cool, but like, what would it do? My guess is that photography and video, that's what the average person is
yeah,
doing with like these devices. And so if you could have AI that like improved it, maybe augmented it, like you could put people into some fantasy, generate all kinds of
yeah,
stuff, like a lot of things that people are doing today online with, any of these like AI deep fake tools, right? We've used and all that stuff,
exactly.
but just make it really easy, accessible on your phone.
Correct. Correct. So
Yeah.
I mean, they also have the nobody's talking about it anymore. It's the VR headset. So, like, there could be an entire game development virtual reality thing that could use diffusal models. If you're going to generate the entire world in your headset,
Mm.
you're not going to want it to be generating like line by line, right? You need that kind of like, oh, it starts out blurry and then it focuses and then you get loaded into this new world. So
yeah. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, like I just searched it. So Apple Vision Pro was discontinued. So they don't offer it anymore as a product. I did try it though, and I thought it had a lot of promise. It's just like the hardware for me was like 5 years out. Like it was just big. It had like a battery pack. Like I'm just not gonna walk around
it's so clunky,
like
right?
that. I don't think anyone. Yeah, like I want it built into my glasses, which I'm actually quite excited about. I think like that'll work really well. And then what I like with like a lot of things I'm doing with AI recently that I think would be great for glasses is like a lot of this kind of translation stuff. Like, I go to like the Asian grocer and I'll take a photo with my phone and have it translate the product or the food or whatever. And it tells me like how to cook it or eat it, what it's used for. It's really cool. Dude, I even did this at Whole Foods the other day. I was looking for high polyphenol oil because it's good for my heart. I actually got tested for high cholesterol, which is crazy because I'm pretty healthy, but it's like
how's that possible?
genetic. I know. I was like crazy. So like high polyphenol olive oil or all oils are a known way to like reduce it.
Right.
So at Whole Foods, and I'm like trying to figure out which one has. I take a photo of the entire shelf and ask it, and it tells me that like none of them are actually high polyphenol olive oil. And I found one that I thought might be the right option. I took a photo and it was very specific about like why that olive oil was the correct one. I was blown away. And I was like, oh my God, if I had that in my glasses, I could walk in the supermarket and just be like, I need this, I need that. Like, tell me about this. Like, is this healthy? Like, is this good for me? Like, is this vegan? Whatever it is.
Yeah.
So I'm actually quite excited about like, augmented reality glasses with AI built in. But no one seemed to really like hit the mark in terms of maybe it's like the utility, like I just described, needs to become well understood. And then people be like, oh, I get why I buy these glasses. It translates things for me. It does things for me. It helps me with this. Like if your maps and directions, like Walker and I was all built in, you have to like leave your phone. It'd be quite useful.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think we like outside of business and from like day-to-day life, we're still kind of just typing into the interface. There's so many different ways that we can consume AI. I'm excited about that.
I think it's gonna come eventually. Do you think that because like that's supposedly what OpenAI is working on, the like
there's some kind of wearable, right?
Or an earpiece. I'm not sure.
I'm not sure either. Like it sounds cool, but like so here's kind of like the struggle that I see with all of these AI companies, right? They need more data. So a lot of their product decisions are not purely kind of thinking for the benefits of the consumer, because as there's a percentage of this whatever thing that they're building has to give them more data to improve their models. So like you go down the checklist and it's like the first thing is, okay, yes, it's the benefit of the person who's using it. Immediately after, or like very close neck, how does it get us more data? And so you have this like competing product priority that I think is driving or pulling this product idea apart. I don't think any of these big tech companies has figured it out yet.
The spoken ones won't actually contribute to the data set, like audio. That's what I see. Right, but like glasses, if I had all that video and visual information, it would.
It would, correct.
Yeah.
So.
All right. What do we got? We got some Reddit stuff. All right, so
we got some Reddit stuff.
Oh yeah, I did some doom scrolling, so everyone doesn't have to. This one is this one's my favorite one. Do you want to bring this up on the screen? Yeah, it's one of the best Reddit posts I've read in a long time. This guy posted on Indie Hackers, and he said that he had launched 39 startups until one made millions. This is what I wish I knew. And so the core like theme here is something that you and I have talked a lot about, that like you got to just test ideas and see what sticks. And that a lot of people just go too hard and too deep into a concept that ultimately the market, for whatever reason, doesn't see value in it. And he proposed a few things in here that I think founders and people who are into building prototypes and MVP should explore. And one of them was like, he'll build out not just a landing page to test it, but he'll include like a checkout and even like take people's money to prove that there's demand. And if it doesn't work, he doesn't get enough demand, he'll just refund the money. I thought that was actually quite smart. Like, I would absolutely recommend people do that. You absolutely do not want to take people's money. Let me be super clear. Like, don't take people's money if you don't plan to deliver them a product. But if you're doing this as some kind of like MVP test and people agree to like all your terms of service and all of that, and then for whatever reason you can't deliver it, give it back. And I think that that's really good. It's a really good test of like whether there's demand. Do you think people should take their money and then refund it? Or
I think that's probably the best way that you can launch a product or begin to even think about building a product. You should charge people money for it. Everything else is really just fake, like waylists, email waylists, people telling you that, yeah, we'll use it without putting their credit card forward. That's all fake. The best indie hackers I've seen does this, right? They said, I'll give you a 90% lifetime discount. Get it for $50 instead of $1,000 when I launch the product, so that I can get feedback and see who's actually interested. And if the product fails, or if they fail to reach a threshold, like say 10 users in the first month, they just refund the money.
Yeah. I believe in this. I think I've actually written a lot of that to my newsletter recently, that like, I think the freemium era is over. And particularly like indies and early stage startups should like just not even be thinking about freemium anymore. I think the model is broken. I don't think it works. Free trials, I definitely recommend. 7-day trial, 30-day trial, maybe an enterprise, you give them like a 30, 60, 90-day trial or something, but no more freemium. And then this idea of like, hey, can you get people to pay up front?
That's such a good
and determine demand and help understand like the price tolerance for things. I think it's really smart.
I think that's super smart. I think so. Like with nowadays, especially if you're indie hacking, or if you're really any kind of like startup founder, your content is the free thing that you're giving away, right? Like your presence and your authority on social media, the value that you bring onto Reddit, onto LinkedIn, X, that is the freemium model that you're attracting people to your product or service. So like by the time that people is clicking to your landing page, like they should have already gone or convinced the value that you're bringing, or that they would get out of
I agree.
Right?
It fits with my whole. And so my next newsletter, I'll go into depth about what I'm calling the MSP, minimum sellable product. And I think that this whole process now needs to be focused on selling, because that's what matters. Like MVP is too engineering focused. It's just focused on functionality, and like functional products or engineering functionality is not connected to revenue in any way.
It's not.
That's not what people are buying. They're not buying engineering functionality. They're buying a solution to a problem, right? So you got to frame the problem correctly so that they understand what the solution is. And you need to be able to deliver on it from an engineering perspective. But sometimes it's simple. Sometimes it's complicated, right? You just got to find a problem to solve. And I think the MVP process like doesn't take that into consideration.
It does not take that. 100% agree. A lot of developers or software product builders, they get caught up in the "if I build it, they will come" mentality. Maybe this was the case even like 5 to 10 years ago. I would say you could build and launch something because you could be unique enough in your go-to-market strategy. You could attract enough people to give you a try. And if you're lucky enough, you'll build up enough momentum for you to actually launch this into a real company. I just think the market attention nowadays has shifted so much that for you to just launch something and then hope for enough people will pay attention to whatever you're doing, I think that's not possible anymore. Like you need to
Yeah.
get your customers paying as soon as possible so that they're invested in your success to keep this train going.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think like it's changed a lot. Particularly in that SaaS space too, like these products are just easier and easier to create,
Yeah, it's
right?
completely
So the
commoditized.
idea that like you can spin up an MVP, test it out, like just get some feedback, see if people are interested. I also think there's still an infinite amount of like SaaS products that could be popular and could be successful. I don't agree that the whole space is done and we've invented everything, we figured it all out. Like I don't think that that's true at all. I think there's all kinds of new problems emerging, new technologies and new ways to frame it and stuff. And the market just keeps getting bigger too, right? There's more and more people that just keep coming onto the internet. And so the idea that like you could build out a niche product. So I've talked a lot about this too, like niche products targeted for different verticals, right?
Right.
So just because there's QuickBooks, I met someone who is making QuickBooks for farms, and they have a very specific strategy around how they market it, what the feature set is. And so if you're a farmer, it's got a lot of value and it's a better alternative than QuickBooks, right? And I think there's like just tons and tons of ideas like that. And I also think that like if you're good at it, you create a great service and you solve that problem in a great
Yeah.
way, you'll be able to build a bigger business than people think. I think a lot of people look at these and go, "Oh, the market's not big enough. QuickBooks for farmers, how many are there?" And like, well, I don't know. There's like a lot of independent or medium-sized farms. Then you start thinking like all around the world, like it sounds like a really big market to me.
100%. There's, I love there's a quote I'm gonna paraphrase here, which is like, it's always a race between product builders, software engineers, to build like bigger and better, or more foolproof product, and the universe's job is to produce bigger and dumber people.
Yeah.
So like,
I still see a lot of like founders, I think they're too technically minded. Like they've got a technical solution
yeah,
or like an engineering, they have a feat of engineering that they've achieved. And so their perspective is like, how do I monetize that?
right,
Right. And what they like to do is like solve engineering challenges, but like what they need to do is solve people challenges. Like they need to like provide solutions that people want to pay for. And sometimes I've even seen where they're just so excited about solving engineering challenges that they keep engineering stuff that like people don't need, or that like the engineering solution convolutes or confuses the situation.
yeah,
So my favorite example is these guys. They were so smart, dude. They were like the smartest team I ever worked with. And they were like they had this device and they had drivers and compatibility for everything. They were so good at it. They were so proud of it. They're like
yeah,
they could support to the point like I think it confused people on like how to use this product because they were like, yeah, you could integrate it with that too. You could like they had a driver
right,
for and people were like, why would I need that driver? Like I don't understand. Like and they just were excited about engineering challenges and they were really good at it. I was like, you guys should just pick like top 5 use cases and all you need to support is the drivers for that. Like you don't need all these other, and then that
yeah,
created another problem
exactly,
too. They have like these libraries of drivers and they had to like create a
yeah,
search to find them. So there's so many, a directory, like just totally engineering stuff that like didn't really need. In fact, like it distracted or detracted from the value prop of the product.
right. Yeah, it's like if your customer has to think to understand what you do, that you're already losing. Immediately
Yeah, they
losing.
couldn't figure out how to like they just couldn't like focus and pick like one product area and like one thing and just focus on that. They just kept like just engineering, just building stuff and building stuff. And
Oh,
they were great at
interesting.
building things, but yeah.
Interesting. Do you see a lot of startups who launches get to like a few customers and then they end up just building more and more stuff, right? Is that like a big
Yeah,
problem that you see?
That's usually, I mean, I think in very general terms, that's usually what happens is like technical founders, they like invent something, they have a solution they've put together.
Yeah.
And so they want to just keep building things. They want to keep solving problems and keep like adding on and adding more features and functionality or building new things or they get all excited about some whole new area that doesn't fit with they have some success. They have some customers and they invent like a new thing. They don't understand that like the new thing is not solving the problem of their current customers.
Correct.
And sometimes they can't, that one's like a hard one for them. They're like, but I've invented this new cool thing and it's amazing. And they can't see that it does all this great stuff. I'm like, yeah, but that's not stuff that those people need.
Absolutely. Yeah, exactly. It's like, it's a weird combination of like ADHD and a combination of just a lot of founders are scared to say no to customers, especially the customer comes like, okay, yeah, if you built this one feature, then we'll sign on. That is such a dangerous game to play, especially as you move up the size ladder, right? Like enterprise customers love to say this to startups. They're saying, well, we can't use you yet, but if you built this, we'll evaluate it in 6 months. And it's just
Dude, this was an interesting one. I worked at one place. We had this advertising product, and then we figured out a way to like incorporate some kind of email marketing into it. It's like very logical. Like even I at first was like, this sounds smart. Like, okay, it's all marketing people. It serves them a need. And what happened was it created a bunch of conflicts with a lot of our customers because the advertising team and the email marketing team were different teams and they had different KPIs. And if the ad team started using this like email tool, it took away from the goals and the KPIs of the email team and create all these conflicts. So even though it was very logical and we thought it was going to be a great product and provide a lot of benefit, it didn't necessarily like solve the pain point for our direct customer, people that are running advertising campaigns. They even though it was very logical. So like it sometimes can be counterintuitive, and you need to like talk to your customers, right? And figure out like, are you really solving their problem? And another startup came to me recently, and I used a tool, and I was kind of like, I understood how the tool worked, but it didn't have a lot of confidence that it solved a problem for people. And so I proposed like this like customer discovery phase. I was like, I think you need to just go and talk to a lot of people and get feedback on like what they think of this tool. And I didn't want to give them my perspective. I was like, doesn't matter what I think. What I think matters is like hearing from customers. Like, do they think this is a good tool? Does it solve their problem? Like technically it was brilliant. Like it was really smart. Like the engineering behind it was sophisticated. But like for the user, I was like, it wasn't clear to me like what the benefit is. What the benefit. Yeah.
Nice. Shall we?
All right. Should we move on?
Yep.
We got one more Reddit thread. This is our kind of AI marketing hack of the week. Okay, so this was cool. So lots of people talking about AI search.
Oh, this is a good one. Yeah.
Optimization. I've seen a lot of people coming to me with tools that do some form of like AI optimization, search monitoring, whatever it is, right? And so this post that someone did on Reddit was dead on in terms of like providing a lot of feedback and thoughts on how AI mode, let's say AI mode in Google perhaps specifically, works and how it's different from SEO. And so let's see, they're in this post, they claim they analyzed 10,000 keywords, 120,000 AIM citations to try to like understand the behavior. They had some like really interesting results that were quite different from how you'd expect SEO to work. So rarely gives the same answer twice, which I think is obvious if you use an LLM a lot, but important because it's not how search works. What is this one? 9.2 of URLs are reused across 3 identical tests. So even the like citations they're all different, and it doesn't
Correct.
necessarily return the same links all the time. And they said that like their number is 21.2% of keywords had 0 reported sources, right? So it works really different than how Google search does.
Yeah, it's only going to take over more and more of the traditional search. So like Google, obviously with the AI mode, that's kind of already cannibalizing their own search data, and they have recently changed the algorithm on how pages are being indexed and also show up being served. This happened, I think, like July 1st, and basically like the third thing that they did is now they have a forum tab on the Google's homepage. So
I haven't seen that. Yeah.
Let me see if I can. Let's go to Reddit. So there is now a forum tab here, which groups community websites.
Yeah,
That's a huge deal.
There you go. Okay.
So that's
new.
whenever
that
is huge.
Oh, right? And that's Reddit and Quora and
basically any kind of communities. Right? If you're searching up a whatever keyword, it will show you the top communities that have mentioned the keyword in. So this kind of like tells you everything what Google's next strategy is, which is converting people's traffic from these block type content onto more forum community focused websites. That's a huge shift. Crazy. It kind of validates everything that I've been thinking about and planning and talking to my clients about, which is just shifting your content strategy away from writing SEO optimized blog posts into just being in community that's valuable to you.
Yeah, 100%, right? Like it seems like owned and operated websites of a brand are just going to have way less value. The post actually identifies the top 3 domains that they saw get cited. So Indeed was number 1, which is interesting. I never go there, but Wikipedia's 2, Reddit's 3, YouTube's 4, and NerdWallet was 5. So I guess there are, and which maybe NerdWallet falls into like the forum category, perhaps. It's like a content site. It's not a corporate blog.
They have a really good SEO. Like I've clicked on random search terms that I've landed on, and it's like a NerdWallet blog post. So they're doing something right. They're hacking something together.
Yeah. So what's interesting too about all this stuff is that and it was like the first comment right in this thread was, hey, a lot of the stuff perhaps is obvious if you do a lot of searches and use the stuff a lot, and like where's the optimization? Like it's just we don't understand, or we can't necessarily predict the responses. And so in the old days, or at least the term SEO implies like that you can optimize it, but it's not clear like that there's any way to optimize or ensure that you get better results or that you appear in the results.
Yeah, so I think you actually talk about quite a bit about this, which is the concept of like a full funnel marketing. I don't think you can just pick one area and optimize the crap out of it and show ROI anymore. That you just can't. Like say, okay, so SEO is like beforehand you could just do some SEO, 6 months down the road you're driving consistent traffic, and now if you implement some kind of like paid strategy, either AdWords, you optimize for clicks, and now you have a consistent pipeline. And maybe you can like dabble in social media on the side, get some leads that way, or just build some brand, right? Like that's kind of like the typical playbook. I don't think that. I think like 90% of people is doing this, almost 100%, let's say. We're making up numbers here. Mm-hmm. And because everybody's doing this, the quality of just these 3 things is terrible. People are sick of just seeing AI slop when they type in a keyword on Google, and then they don't click on Google sponsored AdWord anymore. That's getting super competitive. And then social media content is also getting super competitive.
Yeah, no, I agree with all that. So are you saying that you think like SEO is dead, or do you think generative optimization works? Like,
I just think that it's part of this like 10 different things now. Before it's like 3 things, right? You do SEO, you buy some AdWord ad on Google, and then maybe you have a social media strategy and you have a business. Like that's your entire pipeline. And then like I know like the stats with user touch point is like 7. That's the number that people keep throwing around. Like the
right, they need 7 touch points before they like
convert,
book a call. Not even make a sale, right?
whatever that is.
Yeah.
Right? I think that number is like more like 15 now. Right? Like they're scrolling on social media, you pop up whether organically or paid, right? And then they forget about it or clicks on a thing, goes onto your website, bounces, goes onto Google a few days later because that problem resurfaces, saw that your brand is one of the few results on the first page. Maybe there's a Reddit thread, maybe there's a community Quora question, whatever that is, right? They don't buy it there and then a few moments later you hit them with like a targeted ad, right? Because they landed on your homepage, whether it's on Reddit, Google, or Facebook, Meta. So like the touch points could be 10 to 12, a dozen before they even book a call or even think about buying your product.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I've seen research on this for like travel, right? It's
Yeah.
like hundreds sometimes, like people doing research.
People are doing more research
no,
because
I think you're right. I think like I think the summary here is that like it is the end of the like Google playbook for marketers, that there was a very clear strategy you could employ, generally worked in a kind of a two-pronged approach of like SEO, SEM, and then hey, you can throw some social media inside, and that seemed to kind of like contribute to it. Now we're in a whole new world where the results from Google are like there's way less traffic being driven. It's unstable or wildly volatile in terms of like the results. So marketers need to focus on alternatives. I think like real world events is what's going to come back in a big way. Like I'm doing a bunch of events. We should even talk about that. Doing a bunch of events like next couple of weeks.
I agree.
The events are like in huge demand. I'm seeing all kinds of people want to sign up and kind of come and participate, which is nice. Like I always liked events. I think doing things in the real world is really fun. So I think that's one alternative that is reemerging, that we almost kind of over indexed on digital channels because of the pandemic and because they were cheap and because they were new and because they were novel. There's a lot of reasons why. And now I think we're on the other side of that, where it's like, okay, the internet now is this big kind of AI god, and you just kind of ask it questions and it spits back, you just answers, and you don't need to do a whole lot more for the average person. They go to the AI god, they're like, tell me the truth.
Right.
And they just get an answer and they go, thank you. And then they just like go on with their day, right? They're not like us where they like spend all this time like scrolling through this website, looking at all these different links and comparing things and stuff. And unless they're trying to book their trip to Italy and they're really excited about what hotel
in
Cinque Terre. But yeah, I just think we're in a whole new area. And I think you're right too, that like it's fragmented. You're gonna have to focus on a lot of things. Like you'll need great content. You definitely want to show up in AI search. You definitely want to do some events. You need some kind of social media. You might need to run some ads. You need to be on Reddit. You might want to consider some other forums. Like the playbook has just changed dramatically from like what it was like only a year ago.
100%. Totally agree there.
All right, we got 2 minutes. You want to do our meme of the week?
Yes, let's do it. I mean, I think you got the your hand on the meme game every single week.
Yeah, this one,
This is
from
by
what
far
we talked about too, this is the right meme. This is the right one. So this photo, I didn't even catch the interview actually. I just saw this photo and I just thought like,
yeah, it was such
I
an
thought the
awkward interview.
sunglasses were, oh my God, the glasses are hilarious. Like, what are they like meta glasses or something? Like, I don't know what he's wearing,
I don't know.
but
The
it was so
internet
obvious that
comments,
like,
yeah, the internet comments is like, this is the glasses he's developing with Johnny-Ives. That's
well,
the
yeah,
fair
that was my joke, right? Like, no,
Yeah.
these are not the glasses I'm developing with Johnny-Ive, right? But like, what are those things?
ridiculous. And it's just his like
I don't know.
mannerism, right? Like the reporter asked him pretty tough question, which is like, how are you feeling about Mark Zuckerberg hiring away all your best engineers? He's like, oh, I don't think about that. I don't mind. I don't mind. I think the right mission will speak for itself. I don't mind. Like obviously he might.
Oh my God. All right. Oh, let's do a plug for events. So
Let's do it.
I'm speaking at a bunch of different events over the next couple of weeks, all in my newsletter. So I'll be doing how to monetize your climate startup Wednesday here in Seattle next week from 5 to 7 at 90 downtown. You can find links to that all over. If you look at any of my social media, it's all over the place. And then Saturday after that, speaking at Venture Mechanics in Bellevue, doing a talk based on my article, Everything in Marketing Sucks, What Founders Can Do About It. And then it's almost like 10 days out, 2 weeks from now for Seattle Tech Week on Monday, July 28th. I'm doing my talk, How to Go from Zero to $1 million in ARR for your SaaS or AI startup. That thing is on fire. I've got 200 people RSVP'd, another 175 signed up. So like, go to the other events if you want to hang out, meet me, chat about SaaS and AI, because that one's going to be oversubscribed.
Amazing. Nice. And
We have
people
one
can
more.
find links to all of
It's
these
all
links on your Twitter.
on, yeah, Beehive newsletter, Twitter.
Okay.
Yeah, it should be easy to find. It's all over LinkedIn too. And do we have one more event we should talk about? So in October, you're going to be the sponsor.
Yeah.
You're the sponsor of our SaaS and AI mixer at TechCrunch Disrupt in October 28th. And we're partnering my buddy Arjun. And it's a small invite-only event. We've got a bunch of founders, a bunch of VCs. If there's something that you think you'd like to be a part of, please let us know and shoot your shot. Pitch us. Let us know why you think you'd be an excellent addition to that. Great hair is a good answer. You're a founder, of course. And if you're an investor, we'll take all three. Are we good? All right, dude.